Welcome, mountain bikers. Hope you're buckled down because today's a fun one. We have Intense Factory Racing. Jack Moir, Dean Lucas, Charlie Harrison. Good crew. We talked to Bernat Guardia, team manager, Chappy Fiene. Make sure the bikes are running. It was a fun morning with the team as they were wrapping up their team camp here in Southern California. Starts off a little chaotic, but we rein it in. And I think it shows the fun spirit that the squad has. Looking forward to the race season, and I hope you enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit vitalmtb.com to check out our new test sessions feature. We review and race 5 long travel Enduro 29ers. The results were pretty surprising, and we're psyched on how it turned out, so dig on into that too. This Vital MTB Inside Line podcast is brought to you by Jensen USA. Shop for great deals and get professional advice on your favorite mountain bikes, components, and riding gear. Over 2 million happy cyclists served since 1994. Visit jensenusa.com/the Inside Line podcast and use code INSIDELINE for 10% off qualifying items. Maxxis Tires. Where the rubber meets the dirt, Maxxis makes no compromise tires for any rider, any trail, anytime.
Kevin, Kev, Sweeney.
Yo. Check. Microphone 1, 2.
Microphone checker. Yeah. I'll get my. I'll do my signature. Hop on the phone and tune everything else out.
Tune it all out. You're not even a millennial. What are you? What generation?
It's not that I'm like addicted to my phone. It's just that like I'll be texting or something and they'll be talking to me and I'm just like I'm into like what I'm doing.
Best ever head together. By far.
All right, so when it is your turn, just kind
It looks like I've got some stuff.
of pull it and talk. Should be fine. Just lean on in.
Kevin, what do you have to say about this topic?
Phone's going down.
Yes.
In the middle.
Put it in your
Phone
pocket,
stack.
bro, that's fine.
God, no. Not trusted.
Tom, we have enough self-control. If it's in
Yeah.
our, we can just not look
No,
at it.
you
We
don't. Come on.
I mean, if you
You
can't
drive.
control it, we
Listen,
can look after
listen.
it for you, but...
Dean is the one that's
Say it into the
always,
mic. Say it into the mic.
Dean is the one that's always criticizing us for being on our phones.
Okay, so we get to dinner, and Dean will finish his scroll. He'll have nothing left to scroll. And he'll be like, why is everyone always on their phones? And he'll put his phone in the middle and say, put your phones in the middle. But it's only because he's run out of stuff to look at on his phone.
I got plenty more
Every
stuff to look
time.
at. I got some folders I can go back through. I got heaps of stuff. But if you put it in the middle, no one's gonna touch it.
Classic Donnie. When he's bored, he goes
Yeah.
back and looks through all his photos.
And he's,
Like, just
you can any single plane flight you can look over and see Dean looking at results from like any given race. That's all he does is just look at his
Really, just
flipping
gotta
through results.
Split King. If you
Yeah.
want to know a split, hit up Dean. He'll fill you in.
Dude,
analyzing. Yeah, just getting it all.
really. So you're a competitor. You take your career seriously.
Yes. Yeah. Twist that one around. Yeah.
This is going to be a gong show.
I feel like it's
I
just
like it,
like
though. I'm
what?
psyched.
It's just like we're in like.
I'm excited.
It's like,
This is gonna be good.
Yeah, pretend I'm not here. You guys can battle it out.
Yeah.
Hey, Jen, do I get consultant money for a therapy session here?
It's gonna be a built-up vent
Now I
session.
feel like I'm just like fighting and fighting with Poppy. Not
Okay,
that.
just don't be boring.
So far, so good.
Mom, are you fucking serious?
Dude, we're at the end of team camp. Tempers are...
We're just having
Stuff's
Tempers
gonna
are at
boil
all-time
over.
high.
We-
We're sick
look
of
at-
each
Look at
other.
Have
Bernat,
we
Bernat's
started?
like,
Is this actually a
this,
thing
This is
already?
a bad idea. I don't think this is going to go over.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're going.
They're
Oh,
gonna
so-
after the end of this, they're gonna be like, "Why did we ever give these kids some
Micro-
airtime?"
They might. Everyone unsubscribes after this one. Should we do it?
Do we have to do the warm up
Should we
thing
go?
where you
Let's
like
get right
you tell
to it.
people what to buy before we start?
Yeah, what's
Like-
this sponsored by?
Yeah.
Jensen USA, an Intense dealer. Nice. Maxxis
yeah.
Tires.
We can
You guys
respect
run
that. We can
Alright,
respect
There
that.
we go. Yeah, we'll get into
Our
that.
boys.
Yeah.
We'll ask you about tires in the middle here.
Okay.
You sure you're ready for this, Bernat? We're kind of nervous.
Is this live?
Oh yeah,
we're going.
Let's start like this is the best
This is
part.
going straight on
once we
vital.
say it's official, everyone gets all.
Jen going, is this live?
Is this live? Is this
We're
still
not allowed
live?
talking about the tires because he has a completely different taste with tires than us.
Yeah.
Bernie's already out.
And we're out. Thanks for tuning in. See you in every other Wednesday. Yeah. All right. Before we get started, which that was Last year, I came and saw you guys, and we did that quiz, right? I asked you a question that you all blew it on, and it hurt me deeply inside. Even Nick, he's not here anymore. I want to see if you retain any knowledge. And this sets the tone for the whole interview. So if you screw it up, what world-renowned singer-songwriter is nicknamed The Boss?
That just flew straight past me, brother. I apologize.
I'm sorry, but it's a bit irrelevant to me. So
It's irrelevant.
yeah,
Maybe it's Kodak Black.
I actually, can I just shit? But I actually, after we did this interview, I went home and it was on the radio. Someone asked the same thing, and I was just like, it's fucking everywhere, just coming all angles. It's like a sign.
It's Bruce Springsteen. Don't forget The Boss.
Brucey.
Ride for an American Bicycle
my
Company.
boy.
Jesse's girl.
That's Rick Springfield.
They're cousins. It's okay.
Yeah, they're bros. They're homies. It's fine.
All right, we'll do the formal intro because we have to, and then we'll get into it. Welcome, mountain bikers. I'm Shawn Spomer, and this is the Inside Line Podcast, and I'm here with Intense Factory Racing.
Woohoo.
Pretty sick. We're going to have some fun today, if you can't tell. Controlling the gong show might be kind of interesting here, but we're going to start off. We'll start with the man to my left, and we'll go counterclockwise. No, that's clockwise. Yeah. Give me your name, your nickname, your age, where you're from. That's a lot of stuff to remember. And then one thing about each of your teammates, where they shine on the bike, what they're good at on the bike.
Ooh, okay. Dean Lucas, 22, from Victoria, Australia.
Nickname.
Don Pablo.
Why?
Just Don, I don't know. Just a thing, I don't know. I think it fits pretty well. Things about the bike. Jack's got long ass legs, so he's good through anything slippery. Chuck's just good at blowing up wheels. So
Nice.
Jack Moir, 23.
no, just no.
Oh, 24. As of a couple days ago. Yeah, shit. Getting old.
Nice.
Central Coast of Oz. Nickname. Got a couple of those, but I think the boys, it's more like Kevin Bacon. Don't know. I think it's just, I just call everyone Kev, so then they twist it around on me and call me Kev.
Why do you
Anyway,
call everyone Kevin?
I don't know. Just happens.
Swaney Swainson.
Yeah, Swanson.
Shark Attack Jack, Moi Moi.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Yeah.
Mr.
Big Kev.
Big Kev.
Big Kev Kenya.
Mr. Legs.
Mud Monkey Moy.
Anyway, so Dean's a straight line guy. Like, you get behind him at a World Cup track with a straightaway section and he's gone.
Yeah.
Like,
Come up to a turn though, brother.
and Chuck's pretty much impossible to follow on all sandy tracks in SoCal.
Like goat tracks,
Yeah,
yeah.
little sandy goat
Silver
tracks with
Surfer, you
big
don't
red
stand a
rocks,
chance,
yeah.
eh?
Nice.
Shout out Silver Surfer Laguna. There's no way we're keeping up with Chuck on that thing.
All right, Chuck, your turn.
All right, I'm Charlie Harrison. I am 20 years old from Chibuco Canyon, California. Nickname, I've got a few. Chuck,
Chuckdo Destructo.
Charles Barkley,
Charlie Horse.
Charlie Horse, Chuckles. Yeah, I think that covers most of them.
Yeah.
Sums it up.
Good things about my teammates. Don Pablo's he is the blind send king. You take him to a new track he's never ridden. Second lap, he is just tapped. Any World Cup, second lap, Andorra, second run. I remember Andorra this year, second run. I was like, this could be my quality run right now because Don is going so fast. I have no idea where I'm going.
Straight line guy in his element.
Yeah, so
He's
straight lines there.
He's also becoming a newly found inside line guy. That we just-
And enduro specialist.
yeah,
We'll
he's
take that
he's
for-
also very good at climbing up hills and wearing clear glasses while riding.
That's what it must
Is
be.
there, is there a career change in store for him?
Possibly.
We're not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shh.
Only time will
Sorry,
tell.
cut that.
The manager's saying cut this out. So, alright, start again now.
And then,
What about what are Jack's strengths on the bike?
oh man, Jack. He is. I mean, he's a top guy now. He's a top 10 ranking. He's 7 in the world. So I mean, you could just.
state
That's
facts,
enough
though.
right there. But
No, we want
I
something
mean,
good.
roots are pretty much my arch nemesis, and Jack is just like, he
Some off-camber.
he shows everyone how to ride roots and off camber. So, and mud, which is also my nemesis. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, now all the pleasantries are out of the way. Charlie, you go first. Throw Jack and Dean under the bus and tell me what their filthiest habit is.
Okay. Jack always has to make his point when he's right. Yeah. He has to let you know that you are dumb when you say something dumb. He's really good at that. And then Don, he's really good at just being a pest sometimes. He loves just
stirring the pot up, eh?
Being that guy.
Poke the bear.
All right, Jack, what about Charlie and Dean? What are their filthy, dirty habits that can be made public?
I mean, Dean's has already been said. I was going to say the same thing. He would just stir you up and just keep it going until you... Dean's has already been said. He'll just keep stirring it up, get you real pissed off, and that won't stop him. Charlie, I don't know. Maybe.
Has smelly feet, like picks his nose and eats it, like anything crazy like that?
Nah, okay, so he's only got...
Oh, yeah, that.
Nah, none of that, but sometimes... Charlie's just, his music, he always likes to plug in on the beat machine, and he's got one music, and that's just pump up, ham, like rap god, we call him Rap God. So we might be coming home from a big day of runs, and we'll really just want to tune in and get some chill mix happening, but Charlie's just like cranking that heavy beat, I mean, that sometimes gets you, and you just want to lax out, but you can't.
They always ask me for like some chill beats, but it's hard because when you only got fire in your playlist, it's hard not to get burnt.
That's true.
All right, Dean, your turn.
Well,
Throw him under the bus.
This is back on the music thing, but it ain't rap. He's got this new love for country, which is just...
It's not new.
That's pretty much the only bad thing about Chuck is that country music. Everything else is pretty good. And sometimes he says he doesn't get angry, but I've definitely seen it.
I thought
I don't get angry.
I thought I didn't get angry until yesterday riding. They were pissing me off.
So yeah, I know I get angry, so I just tell him when I get angry. And Jack, I don't know, he gets gamer layer going pretty good sometimes. like he's got his little gamer layer, like he's got all these plates and drinks and food like from the last 4 weeks ago. So like. He's got because his brother's plays games and stuff, and he just has all his food and his little computer and all that. So he gets some mold and
gamer layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine someone playing World of
layer.
Warcraft. Yeah.
No sunlight.
Yeah.
No airflow.
It's kind of like you got to see how many plates and cups you can accumulate before the end of team camp in your little room. You keep the blinds down.
Jack normally wins
floor.
this by a fair bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some fungi and stuff starts growing. That's about it.
All right, back to love. It's Valentine's Day. I didn't get the heart-shaped pancake that Bernat promised. A little bummed out about that. It was round. It sort of looked like a heart, but the pancakes were good. Thanks, Jen. Have you guys looked at Instagram much today to see all the happy Valentine's Day fails out there?
I got some hate from Luke Bruni. That was all my love.
Dude, that wasn't very lovely.
He really loved my position on the bike, but besides that...
With like a smirky emoji kind of thing?
No, I didn't even get a wink or anything. It was just... You don't look that good. I was like, oh, okay.
Pretty much what he said.
Way to break my heart. God.
But yes, to clarify that, we did get our morning scrolling.
Yeah, not really. Me and Dean don't have Wi-Fi now.
Yeah, we got to venture out.
So we got to wake up and
Yeah.
not use our phones.
The
How do
facility.
you survive?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, we actually take our blankets out to the lounge room and
Yeah.
set up. We set up
pillow
camp out
fort.
there and have a cheeky scroll before breakfast.
Do you guys have significant others?
We
Yeah,
all do,
we all do.
yeah.
You all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, sugar mamas.
Shout out Gigi.
Shout out Boo Boo.
Ling Ling. Boom!
So what do you do on Valentine's Day? Did you shout out like, my girl, I miss you?
Yeah, well, Dean's done one already, so I think if we don't do one,
Yeah,
we're really going
I
to...
put it one
I was
out.
planning on doing one. I just wanted
Yeah.
to wait till later in the day.
I've got
It's early in the day. We've got time, brother. We got time.
Isn't it already the next day in
Yeah,
Australia?
it was yesterday,
we've-
but we're living in
Yeah, we're-
past, you know?
Yeah. We're SoCal living, not Aussie living at the moment.
All right, go around the circle. How do you guys get by with your ladies? But you're traveling all the time. You're always gone. How's that
we
work?
go to, what is it, Love Box or whatever. Is it? What's the place called? Oh, no, we don't go to Love
Yeah.
just a lot of time with Mrs. Palmer, and that's about it.
I'm just gonna go with FaceTime. FaceTime's a handy little app.
Nice.
Yeah, probably just FaceTime, and luckily, I don't know about Ling Ling since she's new to the team, but Gigi and Boo, they're pretty supportive with our racing. They don't really, they know we're there to race, and they're not too difficult at all. Really, they're pretty helpful. So it's cool when you don't have to go away for a big trip, and you're wondering like, oh, how am I going to deal with her when she gets all pissed off that I'm not home? That they're super cool, so it's easy.
Cool. All right, so you guys are here at team camp. What are you testing? What's going on here?
Top secret.
Huh?
We can't talk about that.
You can't say testing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
No, it's just a bit of everything.
Yeah.
All right, but there's
Bit of this, bit of that.
All right, not asking for specifics to give away stuff you can't share, but is it fully new product? Like all the sponsors are the same from last year, right? Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much
So
the
you're just-
same, just new products from
Okay.
them.
Just refining. Is it kind of like team building camp? Like what do you guys do? You've been shredding some
Yeah,
downhill for
we're
sure.
just getting the race bike set up for the year and trying some new products.
Yeah, and then we're going at the end or tomorrow actually. We're going out to Windrock, Tennessee, to do some suspension testing. So that'll be super helpful and productive, I think. And that's probably the most race relatable riding we have in the States that I could, if I were to book a flight somewhere, that's where I would go.
Cool.
So yeah, pretty excited for that and ride some mud, and yeah, should be a good time.
Okay, sick. Got awfully quiet talking about racing and testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Has it been a success? Do you guys feel like it's made you ready for the season coming up?
Yeah, I think it was good. Like I just got on the new bike like literally a week ago, and I thought it might like take a while to get used to it, but literally straight away I was like, nah, this thing works with me. Like second run in, I was like, nah. I think I went and high-fived everyone. I was like, nah, this is cool. We can go fast. So
Sick.
literally took a day, and I'm like, feel like I can go quick. So it didn't take much at all.
Yeah, that was pretty much the same with me. I got
because
on.
you weren't even on it last year.
No,
right?
I didn't race it last year, and then I got on the Proto Carbon one, which is pretty much the same one we're riding now, in beginning of December maybe. And I swear, by the time I got to the bottom of my first run, I was like, felt comfortable on it. Like, I'm so excited to race the bike this year. I think it's going to work really well, and yeah, should be sweet.
Okay, since we're on the 29er topic, let's talk about it. You two were on the prototype early last year.
Yeah.
Seemed to go well. Like you're stuck with the wheel size. You dig it?
Yeah, last year was a bit of a rush coming into Fort William with only a week on the bike. Dean didn't have really any time. But yeah, so it's good to, like we had all last year and this team camp, to really iron out any problems and get it perfect for this year. So, I mean, I'm definitely keen to stay on the 29. Fits me good.
Yeah.
You've heard it all before.
Yeah. But
No, I really like it. Like last year, obviously, it was a bit of a rush. Like obviously, new bikes, completely new wheel size and all that. It's a bit of a rush. But I was just a bit like all over the place because I got on a large and I wasn't sure if like the bike was too big or the wheels were too big, and it was kind of playing with my head. And then halfway through, when I swapped just before Mont Saint Anne, like straight away, I was like, okay, the bike was too big. Got on a medium, and then straight away felt comfortable. And then from then on, I was like 100%. This works better. Up until then, I was like, it feels too big, but I was kind of like, I'm in an iron whether it's the wheels or the frame. And then now, like on a medium, and fits me perfect. So yeah, I'm stoked with it.
I've always known too, like even before I got on the downhill bike, because I've always liked I've pretty much always ridden 29er trail bikes, so I knew that I liked them. And I think with the 29ers, it's kind of, I don't think there's that middle ground really. I think it's either it works for you or it doesn't, like just depending on your riders. Because like obviously, there's tons of riders that change directions a ton, which maybe a 27 would work better. But as far as me, like I'm not that busy on the bike. Like I kind of just, I don't look too loose or anything. I'm kind of just like, just riding it. So it works really well for me. And I think that's kind of how the 29ers will relate to people.
did you wish you could have had one last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of look at it as well. It's like people say, should you get them, should you not? I feel like it's like a height thing. So it's like if you're a small guy, like you saw when Danny got on one, like the bike was just too big for him. Like everyone could see it. As soon as he went back, he went faster. So I think it's like your size and then your style. Like even like a taller rider that like moves around on the bike a lot, I feel like that doesn't suit their style. Like they've got to be able to like be more solid on the bike, I guess, and then that works better for them. So I think like your style, your height, all that kind of comes into it. Like it's not just like night and day. So I think that's a big part of it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the main thing I think you notice is between 27 and 25. Like when I'm on my 27, it feels like you're just kind of swapping out a lot, and the 29 just seems to smooth everything out, and you just like flow and take smoother lines. So I mean, that might not work with some styles.
Yeah. Why do you think there's the hate on the wheel size?
I seriously don't know.
Do you think it's still there?
If it doesn't work for you, ride your 27, have fun. If it does, ride your 29, have fun. Bam.
Because it's different. I feel like most people don't like change.
I just love all the hate on the internet. People hate on 29 downhill bikes, and they've never ridden one. It's like, what are you talking about? You've literally never done it before. It's like, go do it. If you don't like it, then hate away. But if you've never done it, like, just shut up.
Don't you think too? Like, I feel maybe a big part of the hate is from people that, I don't know if it's that they wish they had one, but maybe it's just part of it, I feel like, is that they don't have access to one yet.
Yeah.
And so it's hard, or it's easy to hate on something when you can't get it at the moment.
Sure.
But I feel like because obviously companies are working on getting them into production, I feel like once it's more of a production thing and more available to consumers, I don't think there will be as much hate because everyone will actually realize how sick they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bernat, you told me about a story in Val di Sole. In Andorra, yeah. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Chappy won a
Bernat
championship
Guardia.
probably, sure.
Bernat Guardia, team manager.
Yeah. Here I am.
Poppy.
Poppy. So, yeah, I mean, that's where we were talking about, like, all this process about getting new bikes, prototype bikes. It's nothing easy. It just, we took some risk. We didn't start earlier at the first World Cup because we didn't have all the product. So we're trying to get everything ready as soon as possible, and we get it for William, and that's where everything started, and it worked out pretty good, where Jack took second place with first time on that bike. Jeff Stever came by too to make sure everything was going well. And we had just 2 frames. We decided to put 2 riders on them, not having any spares, so we just went fully on, risk it. And they had 5 races on it, right, Chappy?
Yeah, 5 races.
We were in Andorra the day before finals, and we found like 2 massive cracks on both frames.
Yeah, and this was before practice
Get close in
on.
there.
This was before practice on qualifying day, so it was obviously a little stressful, you know. One of those times where you're just like, man, should I tell the riders or should I not? And we decided not to, so they just send it and not have anything to think about. And
You sent them out there on cracked bikes?
man,
Where they were cracked.
Yeah.
Not my proudest moment.
Where they were cracked though wasn't like if they failed. It
Sure.
wasn't like
I knew
we weren't
it
going
was
to
safe.
die.
I would assume.
It wasn't at the head tube.
Yeah. The
So
rear
it's-
end might just sit down a little bit more. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a small crack right behind the shock mount. So it was nothing that was super crazy, but it was obviously a high fatigue point with shock impacts and all that. But we got through the day. The cracks didn't really grow, which was a good thing. And after qualifying, we stripped the bikes completely down to the frames, took all decals off, took everything off. We found Bernie had a contact, and he was able to find a local welder who actually built really rad custom motorcycles.
He was actually an intense fan.
Yeah.
Like he started taking pictures with Jeff, and he showed us he had like an old M1 at the shop. It was great.
Yeah.
It was good. I was there too because I live near Barcelona, so I started like making calls and just like being super stressed out. But
Yeah, that's it.
finally at the end, it was just like half a mile from the finish area. There was this
Yeah.
guy.
The welder's half a
Yeah,
mile from the
so it's
finish at
like-
Andorra.
Yeah.
And he
so-
welds up the bike.
It was
Yeah.
the best situation possible for that, and we got him welded. We were able to protect the heat treat of the frame, so we didn't lose any
Yeah, we
tensile
were-
strength of the frame. And
We were actually at one point thinking on going down to Barcelona because I knew some people that will weld the bike, but we just a mission to get there, strip the bikes, and then get back to Andorra and get the bikes ready for finals. But we finally made it happen, and we had another course during the season, but I think it was worth the risk. We took 2 podiums. We were team of the day at MSA, and it was a great season for us. Can't complain. I would love to say that Charlie could be on it too, but we couldn't make it happen. We were so short on rims and tires and
and that's-
forks and everything. There was like tough calls at the races too, just like having not enough tires or rims.
Yeah, it's crazy
Yeah.
because the whole 29er thing last year, I mean, for the majority of most companies, no one really had a downhill specific 29. Tires, wheels, forks, nothing. So it really took a team effort of all of our partners to be able to make it happen and to be able to continuously supply all the product throughout the season. And I just worked closely with all those guys, and we were able to put it together and make sure we never had a shortage of anything to stop us from showing up at the start line from qualies, practice, whatever race, anything. So it was crazy, but it was definitely well worth the effort.
Yeah, dude, that's stressful.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
This year will be
for sure.
much more dialed in.
Yeah.
So we're
The bikes
excited
look
for
sick.
that.
Okay. Jack, take the mic back. All right, we're talking about the start gate. We'll go Jack, Charlie, Dean. Do you get nervous in the start gate?
Yeah, I think I always will.
Do you? Yeah. How do you deal with it?
I mean, I think the nerves. Yeah, I used to get real nervous, and like sometimes I still do, like take off and like be real tight on the bike and make a few mistakes. But I think now the nerves make me ride faster, and I don't know. If I just try to focus on the race and having a good run, like on the wind train, I'll just do a lap in my head and like doing all the lines and stuff, so I don't really have to think about it. I just take off and I ride the lines that I have been like, and I don't know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Charlie, same to you.
As far as me, like obviously I put a lot of work in the off season, so when you're nervous about races or whatever, you got to just think back to all the long hours you've spent, sweating or whatever, bent over in the gym. Just think all the work you put in. And
Who was bending you over in the gym?
So you just gotta you've put in the work, and obviously I think it's a lie that if anyone says that they don't get nervous for race runs, but for me, I get a lot more nervous for qualifying just because there's a lot more at stake. Especially now with it's top 10 protected, not 20. If you have a crash or flat or whatever, you're not in finals. So once you're gonna get through qualies, all you do for race run is just go as fast as you can. That's the only game plan. Whereas qualies, you got to put in a good time, but also don't do something stupid and ruin the weekend. But yeah, depending on qualifying too. If I go well in qualifying, then you get confidence for finals, and you're on a good pace, so it eases it a little bit. But yeah, as far as nerves, I always get nervous. It'll change, vary per race, but I'll never not go to the start gate and just be like 100% mellow. So
cool. Dino?
Yeah, I think I'm the same. Like I get real nervous, but I think like most of the time I deal with it when like I get to the top of the hill and I just won't shut up. Like I'll just be like talking, and like I just I just need to talk to I don't know why, and then I get in this like mood where I'm like, I guess I just pump myself up like. And then even, I remember when I was a junior, like I'd go up and everyone's on the wind changer seriously, and I'm just like talking and just jumping around. Like honestly, that just chills me out and gets me in like a good mood. And I remember in 2015, I kind of don't really do it anymore, but I remember like I'd get in the start gate and I'd start singing. I was like, this song fucking, it's like love, like I'd just sing that, and then like the start gate people would like sometimes I'd sing it with me and shit, and it'd just like mellow me right out, and I'd just be like, I don't know, not get stressed.
Do you feel like the amount of spectators changes your
I think it's good. Like if there's a shitload of people, like I swear I just like focus more. Like as soon as people get put off by it, I just like focus in like way more. But they had one like this race at where was it? Mont Saint Anne this year. Like I was in the start gate. I was feeling really good. Like before my run, like just getting pumped up. Went hop in the gate and it was like, I think he said like 30 seconds. Put my goggles on, and like because it was so foggy, they just fogged up completely. I couldn't see a thing, and I was just like, fuck, like chap, go get mother's spare pair, because I had a spare pair of goggles in his like tool bag. So I'm like, go. So I take my goggles off.
With 30 seconds
and it's like 20 seconds. Got no goggles. Chap's gone. I'm like, 15 seconds. I'm just sitting in the start gate. Like, do I just put these foggy? Like, I could not really see anything. And like, chap runs back around 10 seconds, goggles on, go. And I'm like, that kind of like, I guess gets your heart going before you even start. So
yeah, was that like a good mind eraser kind of though? Like, did it take you off the nerve?
Yeah, sometimes that stuff helps you out of it.
That's what I was gonna say. When you forget about the race, it's more just
but that was like, and then it was funny that I did so well there. But it was like at the start, I was just go.
That was kind of the same with the rain, because like Chap, I was on the trainer. Chap's like, oh, it started raining a little bit. I was like, okay, whatever. Like I figured it'd be like sprinkling, because it was like kind of raining all during practice, but just like real light, like nothing gnarly. Yeah. And I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't even think anything about it. Like got done with my warm up, like walked outside to go to the bathroom or something and looked, and it was literally just a wall of rain. And I was just like, it was the same thing though, because it's like, what do? You know, it's you just do what you can, and it kind of just took my mind off of the actual race. It's kind of just like, well, here we are, like do with it what you can. And
yeah, if there's any race where my nerves go down, it's a mud race, because it's like you don't have to hit everything so precise. You just have to make it down in a full run without crashing, you know.
That's like whereas on a opposite for me. Hey, as a mud race, I'm like, fuck, we're gonna survive.
I find like a dry, fast track, I'm so nervous because I know I have to hit everything so
like no
perfect
mistakes.
because the times are so tight. Whereas in the mud, like, if you just have a good run and make it down, and
probably
then
okay.
You're gonna go okay.
We're like the complete opposite there. I'm like dry, flat out, just fucking, just go.
There's a bit more finesse in a mud race, whereas like a dry race is literally just you hit everything as fast as you can, and obviously the speed's a lot higher.
There's a bit of room for error. You can get offline and get a bit wild, and you're not gonna lose much time really.
Yep. Start with Dean. Would you rather have a really good qualifier, like assuming you're in, like you're not out of the race, but like, do you prefer a good quali or an average one?
A good, 100%.
Yeah, even though you might go towards the end and the pressure seems like it builds.
No, most of the time I do better with pressure. I think it makes me more nervous, but I think it like makes me do better. Like I know whenever I quali really well, I normally like do well after it. When normally I quali shit, it like kind of, I guess, messes with your head a bit, especially if like you think you're riding good and you have like a bad quali, even if it's like you make a big mistake. But I found like if you like even with like time training, if you have a time training, like you go into quali, like it just gives you that extra confidence. So like, I'd rather quali well. I think I deal with it pretty well, so I like it.
Jacko.
Yeah,
Start singing.
it's always nice to have a good quali, but like relating to your question before, I think the build up I ride a lot better with the build up and the nerves coming into my race run. I always seem to, like, I feel like I have a really good run in qualifying, but I'm not always up there as much as I'm in racing. Like, I don't even think I'd qualified in the top 30, like, maybe once or twice before last year, like, and I'd had a couple top 10 race results. I just don't go as fast in qualifying. I think it's a lot of, like, because of what Chuck said as well, how you're just trying to have a smooth run to get into the finals. So, yeah. It doesn't really worry me where I qualify. But it is nice to have a good qualifying, but if I don't have the best qualifying, I know I can still go good in racing as well.
Okay. C-Money. That's what I call my son, who's also named Charlie.
Works for me. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as Dean. I try to treat the weekend as like put a good time in time training. Same with qualifying, just so you get that confidence and you can kind of just carry it on through the weekend. Yeah, I've always found if I qualify well, I will usually do pretty well in the race, just because it takes your mind off of it. You don't have to worry about, oh, am I riding fast or whatever. If you put a good quali down, you're like, okay, I've got it figured out, or not figured out, but I'm riding well, and I don't have to, do a whole lot for a race run other than, tidy a few things up, change a few lines, maybe go faster. Whereas if you don't quali that well, then as far as me, like, I'll be like, okay, I got to go find however many seconds, and you start like kind of stressing over it, and it just turns it into a big fiasco. Whereas it's so much easier if I just put a good quali run and then carry it on through finals.
Okay, cool.
Well, one thing I didn't like though is like one year, like I was qualifying really bad, and then I qualified 5th, and it was like a big
huge jump.
Big jump for me. And I was like, the one thing was like all the crowd was always like all the way down the track. So like you'd start and you'd get like pumped up as you'd go because people just going nuts. And at Lords, I was like halfway down the track and I seen like 4 people. I'm like, this is just a ghost town. Hey, like it's just
so you could take that in, like you were soaking that up.
Yeah,
like,
that was like my run at Fort William.
Yeah, like you don't get that build up as you go down,
the whole half of the track,
and then you get to like the bottom half of the track, and it's just like like just that everyone's there, which I guess is kind of good because you get to that point and like keeps you going.
Sure,
but you don't get that initial like fucking go.
At the start, it's just silent.
Yeah, it's just quiet. You get like an odd whistle, and you're like, this. It's like even in practice you get more people, so it's like that bit kind of weird.
Dude, crazy. Yeah, that's interesting for sure.
I think it's cool though when you do quali well, because obviously there's like a lot more build up, like you guys said. And I remember I qualified in 2016 in Andorra. I qualified 11th, and my best World Cup finish before that was 45th, I think. So I was like so out of my element. I remember like before finals, I was like, I kept seeing people like fast dudes like that I would never think I would ever beat.
Like
going,
still at the top of the hill.
yeah,
or
like
dropping
going to the start gate, and I'm like, I gotta go, and I like look at my phone. I'm like, I still have like an hour and a half. So it is cool though when you qualify well. You're at the top, and you see like all these people you look up to as far as racers, and you're just like, it kind of pumps you up because you're like, this is so sick. Like I'm racing with all the people I've like looked up to and thought were so cool forever.
Dude, that's super sick.
I definitely get some Kodak carriage as well. Like if you get the like you're on the big screen, like you're gonna throw down.
Yeah.
Like, I remember so clearly. Like I qualified like 18th at Wyndham. It was the first time I got on TV. I'm like shitting it, but I'm like I'm throwing down.
Really, because
And
like
it's
the eyes are on.
Yeah, and it was like the first like kind of big roller drop thing, and I was literally just sent it off it, like just literally like
Wyndham
Dean
2014,
Lucas out of
eh?
the start gate. Next clip, me just like sending my meat
Just
down the-
running
yeah,
down the
like,
ski field.
and I just remember getting to the bottom. Everyone's like, "How didn't you die?" And I was like, "Brother, I'm on TV. I'm throwing. Like, I'm going." And I remember like my parents and stuff were at home, and they just like I remember them freaking out, like calling me out, like we thought you were gonna die,
Yeah.
and like that was my best result. Straight like first time I did it, I was like. Kind of like set the pace, I guess.
Yeah,
That's sick.
The live timing's sick because getting on the live screen or whatever is because obviously it's hard being away from family and friends when you're at the races. So if you qualify well enough to get on the live feed, then it kind of helps with that.
Yeah, they
And
can see what you're doing.
yeah, you can tell everyone like, hey, like I'm racing here. Like all your good friends will watch. Like I'm racing
Yeah.
this time, and it's just like it just gives you a bit more confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that motivates me as well. Like when you're like everyone back home is watching, it's like you got to fucking go. Like you're like, even though obviously you're gonna go hard, but I feel like if everyone's just on you, you just like don't mess up, just go.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps for me as well.
Cool. All right, we've got a handful of questions around these sort of topics. Let's start with the huck in your meat thing. Jack, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Are there, like, how different, you said qualies, you feel like you could never go as fast as you do in a race run. Are you doing different things in your race run, like hitting lines you're only saving for race day? Are you having shit moments you'd never have normally? Like, what's the difference on
No,
race
I
run?
feel like I'm going as fast in my qualifying run, but it's never the as fast in the result sheet. I mean, I think it's for me it all comes down to like the build up of like just the excitement levels of race day. Like you do a couple runs, there's heaps of the crowd, and I mean it's racing, and you just got to, as Chuck said, in qualifying you got to try get through, and if you're not protected, and get into the race. But for racing, you just go as fast as you can.
So
and I think
how many like oh shit moments do you have in a race run?
it
do you
depends.
do you try
Sometimes
to
I'll
have
have
none?
a real fast run and I'm like, oh, I didn't even really get loose. And sometimes I'll be like, shit, I nearly died there. Like it just depends on the track. And
Okay.
but every time now, like I've been like working on just trying to push a bit harder. I used to cruise some bits. Like I think, I've really been working on trying to attack the whole track a bit more. And
Okay.
maybe I don't do that as much in qualifying.
Got it. Okay.
Kind of just going along with Jack said. I mean, on race day, it's one of the coolest things for me is before going up for your finals run, you go out of your pit, and there's all the people usually walking through the pits to go watch the race, and it's like it's so cool to just see like they know you're going up to race, and people come give you high fives or whatever, and just going through the crowd to go up for your race run is just there's just such a build up for a race run, and it's I feel like it's just I mean, like Jack said, it's pretty stressful on race day. We usually do 2 runs in practice and then race, so 3 runs. There's just a big build up, and I feel like it's just you're not really doing much different. I mean, obviously sometimes we'll walk the track after qualifying depending on how qualifying goes, if we feel like we need to change stuff. But for the most part, you're pretty much doing the same exact thing. It's just easier to go faster because there's so much more, I don't know if more pressure, but just more of a build up.
Just the hype around it.
Yeah. And as far as getting sketchy, I kind of just, like Jack said, it just depends on the race. My best results have been where it kind of comes naturally and you don't feel like you're not that you're not pushing, but you don't have to try to push, you know? Because there's other races where I've gotten good results, but it's like I've been like, I almost died like multiple times. I was really having to push. Whereas other races, you just ride and you're just feeling good and everything's working and it comes naturally. So it kind of just depends.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just like the adrenaline thing. Like you just this is it kind of thing. Like your brain knows like it's go time. Like in quality and stuff, you're like, oh well, I got a second chance at it kind of thing. Like it's not that important. Even like you're trying, but when you get to the race, you're like, no, this is it. This is what we came here to do. This is like go time. So I think you just pump yourself up a bit more. And I've always found the same, like even at local races where I'll go hard in qualifying, and then in my race I'll normally go like 3-4 seconds quicker, like no matter what. It's just like I always know you've got more, I guess. So you're like, I always like that if you do well and you know you've always got that little bit more again. So I think it's like if you want to be a good racer, everyone's kind of got that inside of them. Like they can always, when it's go time, they can just push that bit harder, which is good.
I feel like for race runs, though, there are a few times where you've hit sections like way faster than you ever could in practice or anything like that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, there definitely are like set moments where you would only ever ride that pace on a race run.
Yeah.
Because like there's high risk. Maybe you're not going to hold on to it, whatever, but it's a race run and you got to go.
Yeah, I know there's had times when like you say you hit stuff and you're like, it just is nothing like you've done in practice or quali or anything. You just come in and you just do it, and you don't know how it worked that well or what you did or whatever, but it just
you just got that much more adrenaline.
Yeah, you just
touch your brakes that
yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah. And like sometimes you see footage and stuff, and you just be like, you'd be like, what the fuck? Like that's not me kind of thing. Like, because you'd be like, that's fuck.
Okay, that's one of the questions. Like, have you ever watched the webcast and seen your run, and either thought like, whoa, that looks awful, or like, wow, I didn't know I did that? Have you ever seen things like that? Like, what's it like to watch a race run?
If you do have a good race run at the bottom, sometimes you can barely remember any of it.
Yeah, I think that's when you've had the best one. Is like you're not thinking, you're just reacting. You just go.
You might remember the next day. Oh, I stuffed that corner up, but like you didn't even know for like a whole day because you were just that focused. So yeah, if you look at the live feed of the race after, you might not remember doing something for sure.
I think the scariest thing for me is like when you see someone you beat consistently that looks really fast, and then you're just like, I beat that guy. What the fuck am I doing? Like,
yeah,
I'm out of, like if I'm beating him, like that's messed up.
We were literally just talking about this the other day. How we'll see guys in practice just so fast, and we would be like, how could we ever beat these people?
Like you don't feel like you're going that fast.
No,
yeah,
but
like
you are. When you're riding, it's like I don't feel like I'm going as quick, and then I like see some guy that's getting like 100th, and you're like, he's tapped. Yeah. And you're just like, how does
really?
But
you might not be going as fast in that section. I mean, you're having a better overall run, or actually you might just be going faster.
Yeah, and it just comes down to style too. Like, I mean, I won't really ever watch. I don't think I'm that excited to watch on a bike. So like, if I watch my race runs, I'm usually like, not like, oh, like I'm going so fast. It's more just like. Like if I get to the bottom and turn around and look at the screen and it's like a good spot, and you'd be like real impressed or surprised. That's more where like I get like surprised about it, rather than like watching like what I can do on a bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has Warner ever bungled up talking about you guys during your run? Like, have you ever watched the run and like Warner Claudio says something like, "What's that about?"
Yeah, I get. I don't know. Sometimes, like,
I would not want Warner's job. By the way, that's impossible.
Warner's pretty good to me.
Yeah, he's pretty good to the fellas.
Claudio a few times when he's just like, he's like kind of stuffed that up, and I'll be like, what are you talking about? I remember one.
Claudio's critical.
I did that as best I could. One clear time, like at when I got third at Lenza High, like I did this jump at the finish line and literally just nailed it and hooked out, and he's just like, he's messed that up a little bit. I'm just like looking. I was like. That's like the best I've ever done. I like nailed it, and I was just like, "Come on, man! Like, what are you doing?" But most of the time, they're both like they're not too bad. But yeah.
Sure. We'll keep going with you, Dean. What's the hardest part about being a full-time pro downhiller compared to privateer life? And if M's like, "How's that hard?"
There's not a whole lot of hard. So I think you just get kind of more pressure. Like when I was doing the privateer thing, it was like when I first started, it was like no one, like it's all on me. Like I'm doing well, I've got to impress people. Like, but if I don't, they're just gonna go on living their lives, whatever. Now it's just like you've got to perform. You got like it feels like obviously you're in a team, so you got so many people helping you. You feel like you got to give back and like do your job kind of thing. So you kind of like. Everyone says it's like hard to get there, but it's like harder to keep it, I think, because like you really got no pressure besides yourself. Like obviously you're funding yourself and doing all that, so you put more pressure on yourself. But then I think it's just the kind of pressure that the team's awesome, so they don't really put it on you. But like if someone's paying you to do a job, you want to do the job properly. So I think that's like the hardest thing is just to try and I guess keep everyone happy and yourself. So
as Wiz Khalifa says, it's harder to maintain than it is to get.
Boom. But yeah, being a World Cup, like it's not that like we all bitch and like whinge every now and again, but it's like not a bad job to have. I'd rather be this than a welder, what I was doing beforehand, so it's much nicer.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what Dean was saying. I think the biggest thing about being a privateer is you've like worked the whole off season to get your money to go over, and there's a lot of pressure to get results. Otherwise, it was a waste of like money and time, sort of thing. And you've got the added stresses of cleaning your bike, working on your bike, sleeping in a van, being cold, you know. But yeah, it's a lot easier when you get on a team. But then there's other pressure as well. Like you got to perform, and I think, like, especially like me, for my first year on Intense, I was out for a whole year with injury, and I just felt like useless. Like these guys were looking after me, and I couldn't do anything like in return for them. So, I mean, yeah, there's good, like, you got to try and give back to them, whereas you don't have that at all. If you fuck up when you're a privateer, it's just like, well, it's all on me. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys have
Young
pretty much summed it all up. Yeah, obviously when you're a privateer, it's obviously there's people that will hopefully help all the privateers. There's obviously some people that are, you know, like really putting effort into, you know, they see the vision or whatever and they want to help them. But yeah, when you're a privateer, it's pretty much just you know, you've got something to prove. You want to make a name for yourself and be successful in the sport. And when you're on a team, it's obviously this, you know, you're not just racing for yourself. You're racing for all the sponsors that are putting money and effort and all these people behind the scenes working on prototype bikes and all this stuff. So, yeah, when you don't do well, it's almost, you know, you're not just letting yourself down, you're kind of letting the team down as well. So there is that added motivation, I guess. You want to do well for the people that are putting a ton of effort into you as well. Yep. But it goes both ways. I mean, being on a team is so much better than being a privateer. Just as there's so much less stuff that we don't have to worry about. You know, we don't have to make our, like, there's little things, like, obviously, you know, we don't have to work on our bikes, we don't have to pay for flights or whatever. But then there's little stuff that I think makes a huge difference. Like, we don't have to worry about making our lunches before finals or any of that. You know, the little stuff that adds up. So we just have to show up to the race and race and ride our bikes, and that's it. So it's yeah, we're definitely pretty blessed to not have to worry about so many things.
Yeah, cool. Start with Jack. Who do you hate being beaten by? I ask this to everyone, and they're always like, "Oh, no one, bro. We're always good. Come on. Who do you hate being beaten by?"
Yeah, the syndicate guys just dodge this question hard.
Yeah. Laura. Yeah,
they bleeped
Loris
it out.
told me, but he wanted to bleep it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you're gonna tell us after
fair.
this interview,
No,
though.
if you guys want to do that,
we're gonna find out, Loris.
It was you.
I mean,
Do you want to start any beef?
Yeah, well, I don't.
Do you have someone though, like coming up, like, oh, you
Like,
always
obviously,
battle something?
back home in Australia, I don't really want to be beaten by anyone. Like,
Yeah, you just don't want to get
the
beat.
national pride thing.
like
kicks
you
in?
just, you want to try to be the best coming from your country. But I mean, at a World Cup, it's like there's so many fast guys. I don't know. Like, I obviously hate getting beaten by them all, but there's no one I've got serious beef with them. Like, if who beats me, I'm gonna be fucking angry. Like, really?
I think with me, it's just like all the guys I race is like juniors, because I feel like we kind of like came up together. So it was like Luca, Mike Jones, Loris. There's like and all those guys are fast dudes as well. So it's like if you're beating them, it's like you're up the top as well.
Kind of on your radar.
Or if you get juniored. If you get beaten by a
beaten
junior,
by a junior, it's
you're
bad.
definitely gonna hate that.
But
you know
yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
not like beef or anything. I think it's just like they were your boys when you were racing, and you kind of you want to move up together, I guess. So it's like you want to keep those battles going, I guess, even when you're in the seniors. But yeah, like I just want to do well. I don't really. If anyone's beating you, it sucks. So he's kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like we're all on the same wavelength pretty much. I mean, like Jack said, he wants to be, you know, at a home race, he wants to beat everyone. It's the same with like at a World Cup. Like I would like to be the top American at any given World Cup, but there's tons of guys that are coming up that are like riding really well. Obviously Bruce had a really good year last year, and Dakota's riding really well. So it's cool to see that everyone's kind of up there battling. But yeah, it's. I mean, obviously you want to be the top person of your country at any given race. And then also I was watching a video or something the other day. As far as like, even with the team, like I'm sure we want to be any one of us three wants to be the top guy of the team at any given race. So there's also, but it's like, it's good pressure, you know, it's just, it's just healthy, you know,
It's
competition.
being competitive.
Yeah,
for sure.
I've actually thought of one.
Okay.
Okay. Eddie Masters. Yeah, but not at the finish, just at the first split. We go hand in hand. No,
Do you really?
look back the results. Eddie and me all the time, just back and forth. At
That's awesome.
when he got at Montana, he was fastest at the top. He's like little green dot or whatever. And then so many races, we just go back and forth.
Yeah. Have you guys talked about it ever?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, yeah.
No, we because we if we have a bad race or whatever, we always just go back to that first split. I'm like, brother, it was third or fourth there. It's like, what happened? But,
That's awesome.
but no, it's been going on for a while now.
I mean, I think as well as that, anyone with a higher number than you, in the overall, you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
pretty much. Like if a guy that's already going better than you in the series obviously beats you, you're just like, oh yeah, okay. But if someone beats you that is behind you,
Especially if they're on the rise too. Like you see,
Yeah.
they've been having good races and they
Yeah.
come coming
They're
down.
coming
You
for
feel
ya.
them as a threat. You're like, get out of here. Like,
That's awesome. All right, Charlie, we'll start with you because you sort of mentioned it, but you mentioned seeing guys on the track that you've looked up to, and we're like, wow, I'm going as fast as those guys. Who's someone you like to see on track and respect and look up to out there? Like, who do you have your eye on when they're if you're stuck on the side of the track?
Because I've got a good one.
All right,
Phil
Dino
Atwell.
swooping in.
Phil Atwell is the fastest man on this planet. 100%.
we actually determined the other day that he's the fastest person.
you
on
don't
the
Yeah.
want
track,
to try
so-
copy any of his lines.
He
You'll
wins
end up
practice
secondhand.
every World Cup. He wins practice. Like they must be messing up the time because he should win World Cups just every weekend. You watch that kid, he flies, man. He's
Is
crazy.
it just the look of what he's doing, or you feel like he is actually faster?
Brother, he's like warp speed. I saw what's the sound boom thing came off him once?
The
He went-
sonic boom?
Yeah, sonic boom. Blew me off
In
my
Valentines,
bike.
it was
Yeah.
It wasn't even a fast
Really?
track.
Yeah.
No, that kid's tapped. It's pretty crazy to watch. But I remember when I was racing him as a junior, I went to Valdesol, and I watched him go through one section. I was like, I need to go home. I'm packing it up.
Really?
There's no way beating this kid. But no, he's pretty. I think he's slowly pulling it all together. Because before he's just he'd ride a section tap and then maybe block.
Explode.
Yeah, but now he's kind of fine tuning it, I guess. And he's pretty cool to watch.
It's sick.
There's tons of people though that I think are really cool at the World Cup. Even I mean, I'm battling with them, and I'm still a fanboy, you know. I'm a huge Loic fan. He's always been so helpful and so cool to me. And he's, I mean, you would never know he's the world champ, you know. So he's
Just because he's down to earth.
yeah, he's so
approachable.
humble and helpful. He's always been I remember in 2016 at St. Anne, I qualified 19th, and I was top 20. I thought I was the man. I was so starstruck, you know. I never would have thought. And he fully messaged me the night before when he's got so much stuff to worry about, and was just he's so stoked. And he's good luck tomorrow. Just have fun. And it was just stuff like that they've got a lot going on in their lives, but they still make time to reach out is really cool. And I mean, even at Valdesol in 2016 at Worlds, I crashed and was riding down, and just tons of guys that I had always looked up to were asking me if I was all right. I was you know my name, you know,
Yeah, cool.
you even know who I am. So it's cool to see that, your idols kind of just they're becoming friends, I guess you could say.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, I think it's a weird transition when you go from people you look up to friends. It's that weird kind of change, but I don't know. I guess you just got to deal with it, and it's all good now. But at the start, you're it's
a bit awkward for the first few
yeah.
years.
I used to stay up late and watch movies of you riding
Yeah.
and stuff. And now we're just buddies. You're ooh, and how did that happen?
Yeah, that's sick though.
Yeah.
Anyone for you, Jack?
Yeah, when I'm on the side of the track looking for lines, I mean, apart from just the guys I've always looked up to on videos and stuff, I always like to someone might look real fast, but I don't really take too much notice and let it psych me out unless it's someone who's always putting together smooth, consistent race runs. Maybe then I'd think about changing the line. If Greg comes through and does something, it might not look as fast as someone else who's just going balls to the wall, but it's a good line in a full run. So yeah, I try to not let as I was saying, that you go to a Euro race and there's so many people just going so fast that you're just whoa.
Yeah.
But try not to take too much notice.
Yeah, cool. Favorite track, Jack?
Ooh, I'd have to say Mont Saint Anne. I've always just liked. It's so flat out and tapped, and it was my first World Cup as well, so I was just frothing from day one.
Okay. Charlie, we'll go short answers on this one.
I'm not copying, but the same.
Okay.
It's always been, and I'm all good if it rains there, so it's cool. I don't have to worry about that, and it usually always rains, so I'm not stressing about the rain. And we got Team of the Day there this year, so it was just we just, it's like such, I think everyone will just, when they think of St. Anna, it'll be happy thoughts. Like we had such a good time. It was so fun all weekend. So
Cool.
I'm gonna have to go Lords.
Yeah.
Really like it. Every time I go there, I don't know. They're like just when I ride there, I feel like you don't even really like. I'm not even thinking about riding. Like you just I don't know, just doing it right. But
Straight line fast section guy.
yeah, just love it. But I don't know. I keep having bad luck there, which is a bit annoying. I did the front flip a couple of years ago, and now I did the front tire. Got a flat this year, or last year. So I don't know. I think they're having world champs there, aren't they? In a couple of years or something, or is it World Cup? I know, I heard something. I'm just making.
On schedule, you've been reading.
I know someone's telling me that, so I hope we go back anyway. I really like it there.
Yeah, cool. Since you guys like Mount St. Anne so much, it seems like a lot of people often complain like, oh, we're going back to this race again or that race again. Do you guys appreciate the same track over and over? Do you wish there were a bunch of different ones? Like,
I mean, it would be good for variety. I don't think we've been doing it long enough to be like, oh, we're going back here. Some of these guys
like
have been
your
going
20th
Fort
time
William.
to Mount St. Anne.
Yeah. At the moment, I've been to Mount St. Anne probably 3 or 4 times, so it's just like I want to go back and ride that track. But yeah, maybe in another 10 years, if they're still riding it with no changes, it'll be a bit like that. But yeah, it's always good to have variety and go new places as well. I think they could at least add some fresh sections into some of the tracks we go back to, because it just gets real beat and hard pack and not as fun to ride as like a fresh, loamy, rooty section.
Yep. Let's go to Dean. How do you approach a track you don't really enjoy or don't like?
Not good.
No, I try.
Hating in the pits.
yeah.
And what track would that be?
Negativity.
What track would that be? Like, with an example?
Come on, you know exactly what track it is.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
It's done a full 180. He loved Lenside, and it's just done a full 180 to hate
Okay,
Lenside.
this year
we had a
he was
meltdown. Okay, we like went full meltdown.
He was fully hyping up, like, because that was the end of a 6-week Europe trip, 6 weekends of racing. The whole trip, Dean was like, because obviously he's gotten a podium there, and he was like, oh, like, just wait till Lenzerheide. We're going to hop on, because there's this thing, everyone knows us for, like, we always ride in a train at the World Cups in practice. So we're like, and it's the Soul Train. So he's like, we're going to hop on the Soul Train, like, all
On the
weekend.
Donny Express.
Yeah, the Donny Express. Like,
He's going to
Jack
be
and I
leading
just-
that shit out.
We're just going to barely be holding on to this guy. And it ended up just being Dean's, like, worst race weekend of the year.
Yeah, that was like,
Just hating
I reckon that was one of my all-time worst World Cups.
Really?
Like, went there, I don't know, was just not really feeling it. Crashed first day, like hurt my wrist, and then crashed again. And I'm just like, oh, this is going nowhere.
Not to mention your bike swap
And then I was like, maybe it's the bike, because that's when I was on like the large 29er, and I was like, it was playing with my head, like, is the bike too big? I can't do it. I'm like, was playing with, so I went back to 27, which then it was like such a big jump back to small wheels, like different bike. It was just not like that, and that was like at the end of our big trip as well. So I was kind of like a bit homesick. It's like just everything was just like kind of just crumbling down.
And Jack and
And
I
it
were just
sucked.
lost without a leader. We were planning on banking off of Don all weekend, and we get there and he just falls apart, and we were just like,
so we had to take the reins.
yeah, we were like, we gotta conduct the train now. It was tough, but
Got it.
But yeah, that was weird. That was definitely a 360 for me. But
Okay.
Chuck stepped up though, qualified the fastest, and took the reins of driving the train for race day.
Rollins, brother, cheers.
Yeah.
my carriage fell off.
Slide the mic over to Bernat real quick. What do you think about them doing the Soul Train during practice? Do you wish they would split up and figure their stuff out individually?
Maybe we should put Nathan on and not Bernat.
Yeah, dude, Nathan for sure is like spread out.
As the photographer, I'd say it's difficult not to take it personally.
So good.
Especially, and then they're coming down the end of the day asking me for the banger shots. And
They're like, sorry, bro, you're in the dust.
I got the
spot."
one of you, yeah. And
I
that was
know.
it.
I know that photographers hate it, but as a team manager, I think it's really cool because we are a team, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to see our 3 boys working all together. Because I'm usually walking the track and you see all the riders just mixing it up, just or maybe you riding with someone else, and they 3 are always riding together, and it's good. I think they share lines. They are all good friends, and they really stoked when someone makes to the podium. Like when Jack got the hot seat at Fort William, we were all just jumping the finish area. Dean was the first one, and then Charlie came in, Nick, Jeff, everyone was crying there because it was such an exciting moment for us. So this is kind of like represents what the team is, and we're a fucking team.
Okay, but you feel like they get their lines figured out even if they're in a train. Like they don't need.
Yeah. Like we normally put like if
Like-
some guy's feeling like I'm the shit here, like we put him ahead of the train and he just like toes us down. Like and I think it's good. Like if I go to a track I'm not feeling, and like
You can just toe in. And
yeah, well, I say like Moir, I'm not feeling good here. Can I follow you through the section? He'll nail it. You kind of just like you don't even think about it. You kind of just do the same. Yeah. You nail it. You feel good. Vice versa. You change it up.
I think the three of them are like really different riders, and all three of them are running like different lines. So that's good because maybe Don is leading the train and he showed them like a different line. Jack tries it. He's like, no, man, I'm going to stick on the inside because I'm slow and there you're taking time, but I cannot make it. So I think it's helping them for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we if there's not a line where Shaw's faster than another one, like we'll just follow each other. I'll get Dean to go in front and do that line, and I'll do the other one, and then we'll look at the GoPro after. I'll be like, yeah, that was way slower or way faster. So it's easy to take any questions out, like when you are tossing up between a couple lines.
Okay, cool. Pass it back to Bernat real quick. Sven wanted me to ask these. I think they're hilarious.
Here we go.
2 questions. What's it like being the team manager of dudes you know you could basically smoke at a race if you had a good weekend?
Look, I was just telling that to Charlie yesterday. I think 2 years ago when I retired, I was like done with racing. That's just like I just passed like page, and I'm just on a new job right now, and I'm just being not competitive at all. Just like I'm super mellow right now. I don't know what's going on with me, but like 2 years ago, I was just like trying to like beat them on everything, like just from PlayStation to just racing or trail riding. I just like being a super competitive dude since I was like 2 years old. And now suddenly, like when I quit racing, I'm just like super mellow and just like I see these guys, they train so hard right now, you know, and it's like when I see it just from the side of the track, I'll be like, yeah, that's done for me. I'm not seeing myself anymore just riding that fast for sure. So yeah, I'm on a good spot now, so I can't complain.
Okay. And then he also wanted to ask, and there's proof on Instagram with that like kind of Euro table sort of, you know, downside table thing that you posted the other day. Do you feel like you have to teach them style because you're more stylish than them?
I needed to take a class.
Yours was pretty nasty though too, right? You had a sick one.
Thanks.
Okay.
Everyone's got style but me on this team. Chappy's got more style than fucking most of us as well. So I'm just going to dress him up as me, put him on my bike, and he can just throw whips, and we'll go from there.
I think we have a great team running. Like even Ernie right here is our mechanic, and last year here he just throw a massive no hands in front of the guys on the big jam, and they were like, what is going on? Like even the mechanics are like right super good. So I think we have something really special going on for sure. Like all 6 of us, even Jen could just race again, right? So I think everyone here is a good rider. Nathan is the only one that's kind of disappointing because
delete.
he compensates because he's a good photographer. But I think even Jeff is a great rider. So I think there's something cool going on that team for sure. And these guys are reapers. So I don't care if Don doesn't have any good style. If by the end of the day he gets a podium, so we're all good.
Nice.
Straight line guy.
All right, pass it to Nathan Hughes, team photographer. Which rider produces the best photos on a regular basis?
Oh, answer this right, Nathan.
Yeah, Ernie.
That's a tough one. Yeah,
Is it the T-Rex?
Don, the gringo
not
that
everyone's
always
into
provides.
it with the pictures. Actually, it's a bit of a struggle
That's interesting to hear.
to
'cause
motivate.
the stuff you put out.
So let me just explain. Yeah, it's like at the beginning of the day, I think if you do the graph, we're pretty low, we're troughing, and then towards the end of the day, that's when they want to see all the good stuff. But they didn't, they weren't into it at the time. So
Mate, I have
what are we
been
doing?
running
How are
up
we gonna
these
get
hills
those
for you
bangers?
this last week.
But then, yeah, over the week, I guess things have looked up. Dean's the provider, so he hustled quite a lot.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
Dean does a lot, so we had a great. He's actually just struggling
What
to
a
believe in
joke.
himself right now in his style. But he came through the other day. We had a one-on-one sesh.
Really broed out.
Yeah, and we got some good stuff. So hopefully that's turning a corner.
Yeah, see, it doesn't look like you guys struggle with getting the shots.
No, we had an incident in a hot tub a year ago. I'm just really trying to make up for that. No more needs to be said.
It never used to be like
Well,
this.
something else should be said because that that
Yeah,
could
let's
be
hear that. What's that
interpreted
about?
In a lot of ways, Dean. But
Well,
Nathan's voice sounds very sarcastic when you're really drunk, and it sounds like he's just kind of taking the piss out of you when he may not be, when he may actually really be caring for you. So that got misconstrued, and a few words got said that
Dean had a
may have been
large night
hurtful.
on
Did
my
you guys-
birthday last
They
Dean
go to
was,
blows?
Dean was intoxicated.
Yeah.
I should add that.
No, it did not go to blows, but Nathan was just being a good guy, and
Yeah.
and
Dean was
Sorry,
really
I was
giving
trying
it
to
to
listen
him.
through
not
it.
being a good guy.
He's trying to need it.
That's the short of it, eh?
Did
now
a camera
I'm
end up in
spending
the water?
No, a phone did.
Oh, a couple phones.
A couple.
A few
So I'm gonna spend the rest of my
rebuilds
life making up for that night. I think I'm doing a good job.
That's awesome. All right. Season's coming up. Have you seen the Croatia helmet cam? Like, kind of know what the track's like?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the track
Top
from what you've seen? Go ahead.
Yeah, the top, like, it doesn't look too bad. Like, it looks kind of a little bit flat, but not ridiculous. But then the bottom gets a little bit ridiculous with the whole urban thing.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we should be dodging cats and dogs through a street. We should be riding, like, proper tracks. I feel like we've got the whole world to work with, so I'm pretty sure there's a better track out there than this little street race thing. But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to hate too much until I ride it, but just the whole Stairhawk street racing doesn't really appeal to me that much. I mean, it's not the longest section, but yeah, as Dean said, there's plenty of places we've been or could go
Yeah.
that don't have street sections in them.
I think I've watched the helmet cam maybe once all the way through. But as far as the top, like the actual dirt part of it looks pretty fun to ride. But and then obviously the road part is a bit iffy. But I mean, what can we do? It's first round World Cup, so
Yeah.
that's what it is. So
I think it'd be cool to, like, finish a race in, like, a town or city or something, and, like, it would obviously bring a lot of crowd and the atmosphere would be really cool. But I think they just need to do it a better way, where it's like not an urban bit, or maybe try and, like,
The last straight only.
yeah, like, just have it come in. Like, there's a bit, like, surely there's a better way to do it, but I don't know, that's what we got to race, so you just got to suck it up and deal with it.
Cool. Since you guys are on Maxxis tires, what's your go-to downhill combo, Jack?
DHF, baby. Always has been. Always
rear?
will be.
Front
Front and rear. Nah, yeah, I've had a go with the new Bernat tire over the off-season, and that felt real cool as well, so I'm pretty keen to try that out at a couple races. But yeah, I don't think I've ever ridden another tire. Like, just been on DHF since I was like 12.
Day one, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
In the mud, cut wet scream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you ride on your trail bike too, DHFs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or sometimes when
DSR,
I did the Enduro World Series races, I had an aggressor on the back and a DHF on the front,
Okay.
maybe a DHR. Yeah.
Yep.
yeah, I think we're all pretty hyped to get on the Menard tires when they're available for us. But I usually run DHR front and rear. A few races I'll put a DHF on the front, but yeah, pretty much DHR and then shorties when it's wet.
Okay.
Yeah, DHR at the back, DHF at the front, and then maybe the occasional semi-slick if it calls for it.
Yeah.
We've got straight races coming up, so you need that extra bit of speed.
Working on a tire that sheds the knobs at the street part.
There you go. Just a tear off, just press a button, they all explode off.
Who's the most anal with their bike setup? Maybe Chappy should answer this one.
It differs. I think Charlie's probably the most anal.
Yeah.
Charlie
likes
loves
to
a good bolt
change
check.
a lot.
But I think Dean is the most anal when it comes to his control setup. Like, if
Yeah.
it's off a millimeter, he knows it.
Yeah.
So,
Really? He can tell.
No
Yeah.
gloves, I like
yeah.
like levers, all that grips, like
grip, rotation, I mean, the whole 9 yards, everything needs to be perfect.
Who could care less? They're just like, I don't care. This feels good.
Jack is kind of in that boat.
Mate,
like,
if I got me rising bars, I'm happy.
as long as the bars are in the right spot for him, like
I think it's because we've like got everything dialed, and then once
Yeah.
I've got it good, I just don't like to change it really.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, there is a couple things where I'll be like, is this how it always is? Or
Yeah, there's certain specifics that he's picky about, and usually that's like suspension and the way the
Yeah.
bike is set. But as far as like controls, it can be off a millimeter, and he can adapt to it. Where Dean, like, no.
Yeah.
I'm really
happen.
picky about sound as well. If
Yeah.
if it makes a little bit of noise on your
Everybody's
bike,
pretty much
yeah,
that way.
I'm just
Quiet,
like
quiet.
I can't
Yeah.
handle it. I remember like hearing some bikes at World Cups, and I was like, I could not ride that thing. Like, I know what's slapping around, but I'm just like, that's a big problem right there. Yeah, it'll just mess with my head. If your bike sounds smooth, I reckon you just ride smoother and just everything works out a bit better.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Our bikes are some of the quietest.
Yeah.
ones on the
Yeah.
track,
Yeah.
too.
We do a couple little custom things to make sure that they stay nice and quiet.
Yeah.
You know, so
You give those custom things away.
nah, can't do that.
Then we might not have the quietest bike.
Exactly. We'll have some competition then.
We'll wind down here. No, it's not. Thoughts on top 10, top 60, all that stuff this year versus 20 and 80 last year? You guys stressed about that? Do you think it makes the sport better, more competitive?
I think like the top 60s like a good thing, because I feel like, I don't know, 80, like it's a lot of people really to get through, and it kind of takes it off. But I think the top 20 was fine. Like top 20 guys in the world, they're all fast guys, like they should all be. Then I feel like you look at 11th like in the world and they don't get in because of the new rule. It's just like I feel like a guy that gets like his 11th in the overall could easily get a podium. So it kind of like, I think they cut that down too much. I think the top 60 would have been fine, but I think they should have left the top 20, because I think all those guys, like a lot of guys in top 20 can potentially podium and be right there. So it's like, I don't know. I think that's a bit much, but I'm fine with the top 60. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it'll really affect us too much, but definitely when I was traveling in a van as a privateer, I got in to the finals with some plus 60 qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll make it harder for them guys, which like kind of sucks. And yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, like do you think it'll turn people off from trying to race?
yeah, I think heaps of people still have a go, obviously, but it's just going to be a lot harder for them to get in. I had a heap of out the back qualies where I just got in like 78, 79. So yeah, I think it'll just be harder for those guys.
Yeah, these guys pretty much summed it up. I mean, I don't get too much into like the rules. I don't hardly ever even read them when they come out. I just get the gist of them. But for the most part, it seemed like UCI's main thing was to cut the rider field down, which they did with the top 60. I understand, because they want to make more TV time and make the event go quicker and more smoothly. But yeah, it's like Dean said, as far as the top 20, I mean, really anyone in the top 20 could podium or get a really good result on any given weekend, and for the most part provide a really good show with the live stream. So if they weren't to get in because of a flat or something like that, kind of sucks. But yeah.
Okay.
I think it puts a little bit more stress on us as well, because I know I've crashed at races and maybe got like 68th or something when I wasn't protected. So it's just like a little bit, like obviously it's just like that little bit of a safety net's
Yeah.
kind of taken away.
Yeah, sometimes you can just have not a perfect run and have an issue where you do roll down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as
like
far
after
I
qualifying.
crashed in qualifying in Andorra this year and qualified like 50 something.
Mm-hmm.
So if that were to happen this year and I just didn't get up as fast or whatever, then
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
it's
racing
also-
finals.
Yeah, totally. Do you guys think about like when to peak during the season, or like having a good performance at the beginning of the year? Is that less valuable than the end of the year? At least
Yeah.
on my end, it kind of feels like you almost forget who does well at the first 2 or 3 races, because at the end,
Yeah,
you're like,
it's hard if you do. Like, you don't want to be just like fully peaked at the start. Like, it's a long season, especially with us last year when we did the 2 World Cups, 2 Crankworks, 2 World Cups. Just by the end of that little session, we were all so worn out and just like not over it, but kind of needed a break at home. So
I think it's more like mental stress, just literally
Yeah.
racing every weekend, like just as hard as you can. It's just like that.
But
That chips away at you more.
you do want to go good at the first couple because you want confidence to carry through.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's a hard one.
I think it's a bit stupid as well how they have Croatia and then it's just like have another month off,
Yeah,
because it's just like
that
2
month
like
is
month
just
breaks,
like
right?
really.
because if it started in like start of June, it's like you can just train and that's like your one race. But now because it's like you want to kind of not peak.
Yeah,
but
you
want
need
to
to be fit for Croatia, but then you need just
You don't
another
wanna
couple
drop-
months of
drop-
training before
Yeah.
the next.
So that makes it a bit harder. I think it kind of messes up your program a little bit. So like people might come in Croatia like overdoing it or maybe underdoing it, and then it just kind of messes it up a little bit. It doesn't run as smoothly.
Yeah, and then as far as me, obviously you want to get a good result the first few races just to carry confidence. But no matter what, pretty much with me, is as much time as I've got on the bike or as how fit I am or whatever, it usually takes me quite a bit of races to like get into my full potential. Just I don't know why. That's just how it is.
Yep.
And but I would rather I would rather build throughout the season rather than do opposite. The last few seasons, I've always gotten my best results towards the end. So it's good to end like that. I wish it would just be like that the whole season, but it's just how I am, really.
Okay. Start with you. Personal goals for 2018.
Like to get a few top 10 finishes at some of the races, maybe even better, who knows, and then top 15 overall. Yeah, I think that's doable. Yeah.
Jacko.
Yeah, I want to obviously try get onto the podium again a couple times, and I had the 5 plate the whole season last year and then lost it at Val d'Isole, so I want to try stay in the top 5 for the overall. Yeah, that's about it. Have fun, all that, blah, blah, blah.
I just want to like ride more consistently, hey, and like more as like I know I can, because I felt like this year I was like would go to one race, ride really well, and then go to another one, just ride like it was too all over the place. Like I just want to go to a race and be like obviously get good results like top 10s, but be like even if it was like 11th and then maybe like even if it's something like that, but just consistently like get around the same results. Because you see like the top guys and like they have a bad day and they're still in the hunt kind of thing, where like if I'd have a bad day, might be in like 30th or 28th or something, like, and that's just not where I want to be. So just do that, and then top 10 in the overall, and just ride. Like I was going to races, and I wasn't like I knew I was doing bad, but I knew like I wasn't riding how I should ride. So like at least that was like I was good and bad, because I was like I know I'm riding shit and I'm getting shit results, but at least I wasn't riding good and then getting shit results. But I just want to get back to that, like riding and just being happy and being like, okay, this is what I can do, kind of thing.
We're gonna give you guys a chance at some music trivia redemption as we end up. Jeff, you weren't here. Jeff Stieber's in the room now. Last year for their quiz, I asked him which singer-songwriter is nicknamed the Boss. They didn't know. I asked them again today. They didn't know. So we're going to try some lyrics and see if you guys can finish the lyrics here.
They don't want to see me win.
All right. My love runs cold. My memory has just been sold. My angel is a...
Centerfold.
Dean, good. Coming in.
No, I didn't know the word.
All right. With my mind on my money and my money on my...
Mine.
Okay. Good. Hey, we got to give you guys some that you
true.
can answer, right? We've been spending most our lives living in a gangster's
Paradise.
All right, good.
Yeah.
You're coming in. Biggie,
Dude.
Charlie, if you don't get this one, you're bumming. Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just
Hypnotized.
thank goodness. Birthdays were the worst days. Now we sip champagne when we're
Thirsty.
Hey, good. I like it.
Mate, we know our boy Biggie.
And she's buying the stairway to
Heaven.
good. That was. If you didn't get that one.
That song, but I think that's the only word that could possibly fit in there.
Bored as hell, and I want to get ill, so I go to a place where my homeboys
Chill.
good.
We've gone from the Boss to like rap, and I feel
Let's
like
do some Led Zeppelin.
This is
Here.
it.
Some Jay
rap's
Giles.
not,
been-
the rap's not Dean's category.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Dirty, baby, I got your
30.
Hey, Dirty. Hey, Nathan Hughes comes through. You guys got every one, I think.
Thanks, Nate.
That's good.
killing it.
Throw some like top 40 party bangers in there.
That's all I know, dude. I don't even know.
I'm feeling
XX.
22.
A bit of T-Swizz.
Jack, what would you do if you weren't racing bikes?
I'd definitely be a beach bum.
Professional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Professional. No, I used to do some surf comps and that, and I always wanted to be a pro surfer before I started riding bikes. So, yeah, maybe I should have kept doing that.
Charlie?
It's funny. I actually talk with people about this a lot. Like, I don't think my life would be much different if I wasn't racing bikes, other than the fact that I wouldn't be racing bikes. I mean, I still get to surf heaps and ride moto and ride my BMX bike and hang out. And so I still get to do everything I want, really. It's just maybe not as much because I'm training and obviously have other priorities.
Mm-hmm.
But as far, like, there wouldn't be too much. I want to be a firefighter when I'm done with racing. I'm doing a few classes for that, just slowly working at it. So if I wasn't racing, I would be pursuing that. But as far as, like, activities and everything, it'd be the same thing I'm doing now, other than the bikes part.
Okay. And Dean, you mentioned you were a welder.
Yeah, I was before, but yeah, so I'd probably just still be doing that, working for my old man. But like Chuck said, I'd be doing all like the same like kind of stuff I do now. Probably partying a lot more. So I probably have left brain cells. It's kind of a good thing because it's like kind of like off season. Then when I get on, like all my friends and stuff, they keep kind of just going, and I'm like, no, okay, I'm a bit done.
Clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm done with that. So it's really good for my health and my brain. So keeps me sane. Keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
Sick. Social media accounts, and we're done.
Oh, this is no.
Is it Jack Moir _?
Yeah, Jack Moir _ baby.
Okay.
Hit me
Baby.
up. Hit me up.
Charlie, what's yours?
Charlie _ Harrison _
Dinos _Machinos.
Lots of underscores. Was that part of
Yeah,
the,
you have
the contract?
to, bro. They steal your names,
Yeah.
so then you've got to spice it up a little and make something different.
I went to.
Gotta adapt, overcome.
Yeah.
I changed mine to Dean.Lucas and got like overwhelming amounts of hate from people saying I need to go back to Dinos Machinos, so I changed it back.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is the original Dean Lucas? What's he doing?
I don't know. Should we look him up?
I wonder what he's up
Look him
to.
up.
Look him up, Nathan.
See how many famous names are.
Nathan Hughes is looking it up. Dead air.
He has an iPhone 1, so it's going to take long.
Podcast can't run this one.
Shotgunned it.
This is Dean Lucas.
Only 218 followers.
Oh, weak. Ooh, what's the rank?
Goat, though, so
That's pretty cool.
that's a plus.
What's
He doesn't
the
seem like a
rank?
bad guy.
Who's leading who on the follower count?
Jack is the social media
Guru.
god.
Yeah, you put a lot of effort though. It seems like making.
Yeah,
your
you got to
edits
do
and
it,
stuff.
brother.
Is that part of your contract? Do you have to do that?
Oh, no, you just give him back.
Okay.
They're helping me out.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the job.
Good.
For me, it's hard. Like, I'll spend an hour or two like pushing and getting clips that I think are cool, and it seems like people are never stoked on them. So it's hard for me. I don't
you
really
put 'em out there and
I
there's
don't
no
have that much
response?
effort to make edits like Jack every day. But obviously, he's way more interesting to watch riding a bike. He's got sick style, but whatever. I try my best.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like went out and filmed at Greer the other day with Jack, and yeah, the style is definitely. You can definitely tell the difference.
It's all
So,
about the angle, boys. You got to work the angle. You know?
Yep.
Social media classes with
so I'm
Jack
just a
Moir.
better filmer than a rider, maybe.
That's sick.
But yeah, the style definitely is getting improved, and then maybe some more follows or views.
Nice. Should we go check out your bikes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have
Anything
a
you want to
check.
add? We miss anything?
Nah, thank you
That
to
was
Vital for letting
Yeah.
us get on this session. We appreciate it.
Cheers,
Dude,
Brady.
thanks for having
Thanks
me.
to Intense for giving us this amazing team and family.
And Jen for cooking us all breakfast.
Amazing
we're
Valentine's
good.
Day breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Mom
Hugs all
kills it.
around.
Thank you to Jeff for making a sick bike and,
Welding up some
Super
dank
sick
frames.
and all the mechanics, and Bernie for being awesome, and Nathan for always putting up with our crap.
Getting bangers.
Getting us some
The podcast
spicy shot.
and pancakes.
Podcast and pancakes. Dude, that's a new show. We should do that. Yeah, sick.
And now we're going to reveal who Loris doesn't like to get beaten by to finish it off.
Bum, bum,
Bum,
bum.
bum,
Dun, dun, dun. And it is...
Ooh. Bernat Guardia, you reckon?
Chappy Guardia.
We knew it.
Okay, down.
Thanks for tuning in to Vital MTB's The Inside Line podcast. Episodes drop every other Wednesday. Thanks to Jensen USA and Maxxis Tires for the support. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vital MTB.